we're out here at San Diego Comic-Con 2024 at the Titmouse van bus with Alexei, George, and Erica. Hey, how you doing today?
Hey, doing great.
So, Alexei, we wanted to talk to you. Appreciate the invite for the way this is an amazing location. What is I guess I talked to you a little bit earlier. What is the goal here with the Titmouse van and, your presence here at San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah, we make cartoons at Titmouse, and a lot of those cartoons are the type of cartoons that find audiences at a place like San Diego Comic-Con. So we love to come down here, get to see our fans, attend panels about shows we make, shows like Legend of Vox Machina, the Critical Role show, or Lower Decks, the Star Trek animated series. So we get to see audiences appreciate that, and then we also get to hang out with all the people that we've been working with remotely, artists from around the world, creatives from around the world. We get to ask them, hey, get on the bus, let's have a beer and hang out and relax outside of the convention center for a few minutes.
Yeah, usually that pitch back home leads to something else, so I'm glad this is, a crucial environment. Got a little bit of water here. But like I said, I mean, you don't even really realize how many shows. Like, I'm on Adult Swim last night, Rick and Morty, like stuff like that, that have the Titmouse logo at the end that I've watched. And I'm like, man, I can't believe I watched that. Most recently, right now, you guys, like you say, Lower Decks. Yep. Right now, you guys are doing Ninja Turtles for Paramount.
Yes,
how'd that come about? Like, what was that conversation?
Yeah, we actually have 3 animation studios inside of Titmouse, one in LA, one in New York, and one in Vancouver. So we do a lot of shows that people might not know that we do. Kid shows, adult shows, action shows, comedies. We do all sorts of stuff. And we have great relationships with the various TV networks that make cartoons. Right. And we just try and bring like a different energy to every show. So oftentimes, if it's going to be like a comedy, then we, pitch ourselves in the interesting comedy teams that we have and creators that we have. But we bring the same energy if it's going to be an action show. And we love doing, fight scenes and cool choreography and all that stuff, and stuff that we get to do on shows like Legend of Vox Machina.
Right, one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, and then we get to bring that, that same energy, that, little anime influence, action stuff. And I think something that's kind of unique about Titmouse is that we don't have a single house look.
I was going to say that. It's everything is unique. Everything has its own signature. Like, look, because I know with some places you could tell, like, oh, I know that studio.
Yep.
Miyazaki, what that looks like. But you can never. That's why I say you can never tell.
Yeah.
You get to the end of the show,
you get that chirp.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've gotten really good at building a unique team for a unique project. And so that means that it's not out of the question for something that looks as phenomenal and unique as that Ninja Turtles show for them to be able to come to us and say, hey, if we wanted to do a series and we wanted to have that same energy as the movie, like, is that something that we can work together on? And we're so excited to take those challenges and say, like, yeah, we can do that. We can bring like that look, that energy into a cartoon at a TV show level. Even if it's not something that you've ever seen us do before, we're down to figure it out and do it awesome.
With you having so many different studios, do you feel like it becomes a little overwhelming to kind of like oversee all of that with so much going on all at once? And with deadlines, I mean, that's a real thing.
It's definitely not easy, but I think what's kind of fun about TV shows is like every TV show is kind of like a little family, right? Like it's almost like a little company inside of a big company, and so each of these shows has its own kind of team in place to make sure that show comes out incredible. And then you have the folks kind of who run Titmouse overall who get to put those teams together and then let them cook, and there's a lot, I always say, a lot of like matchmaking in TV, because it's about like building the team that has chemistry and getting these people to like fall in love and become this little found family, and then go out there and work together every day and make that show amazing. And so we can have a bunch of different shows going at the same time, all at like different places in their schedule, some at the beginning, some in the middle, some at the end, but they're all these little units, these little families that are doing their own thing together. So I think that's how we make it work.
Picking back off one of my questions was with we just had that major strike that just happened, and I'm sure you guys were not immune to that at all. How how big were the delays with that? They dealing with actors being on strike, working around those schedules and stuff like that. Because I'm sure you guys had all the animation done, but of course getting all that stuff filled in.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely complicated. What's something that's interesting about animation is there's different unions for a lot of the different parts of the process.
Right.
And so in animation. Our studios work with the different unions in each location at each city. We're in, like I said, New York, LA, and Vancouver, and so there are different unions,
right.
and we work with them all. And so we have a great relationship with all those unions of animation workers, and so we're able to continue working on the things that we were able to continue working on, and do our best to keep all those folks going, right? To keep them all employed, keep them all at work,
right?
While those bigger strikes got sorted out. Animation is on like slightly different grounds than some of the other unions, so it wasn't as crazy for us in animation as it would have been if we were all live action.
Right.
It was slightly different, but it was complicated. But we want everybody to get fair treatment, and we don't have a problem. Doing our best to make it work for everybody. So
okay,
yeah.
And you come over, how's the dental packages over there?
Hey, they're as good as they can be.
Right. Just jump in, like I said, with Titmouse, mostly you guys do animation on TV. Mm-hmm. Is there any plans, or maybe do you start doing feature films?
Yeah. So we've done a couple features in the past, and we've contributed to a lot of features with moments and shots and like special items that appear inside a movie. So like we've done shots in the most recent Spider-Verse. We did shots in the most recent Trolls movie. There are moments where we get to collaborate with some of these feature films, which is really cool. And then we are always exploring the idea of feature films that we do as well. And we did a couple, kind of like direct to streaming films to bring back a couple shows that we did for Adult Swim back in the day. So Venture
right.
Brothers got a movie.
Yeah, I loved it.
That came back, and Metalocalypse as well. And those are basically feature films.
Yeah.
So we're excited to do that type of work. There's not as many big animated movies as there are maybe TV shows. So less opportunities, but we're always chasing that for sure.
Okay. Now, like I said, we're at San Diego Comic-Con. What did you have anything like special for the fans of your shows that you guys were doing, panels, stuff like that?
Yeah, the teams who do the shows that we're paneling here, like Lower Decks and Vox Machina, the creators of those shows, they got to do the thing that they thought would be the most exciting for their audiences, and we support as much as we can. As the animation production company. So, oftentimes with shows like that, like big IP,
right.
there's, the ownership is kind of spread around, and as the animation studio, we're not necessarily in charge of exactly what goes on with panels and stuff like that.
Right.
We're more like just supporting whatever we can. So I think those are two big shows that have had a big presence this year.
Right, Paramount, like stuff like that. Those, I mean, it's just crazy to see where you guys have come from. Somebody that grew up watching a lot of this stuff, like you said, Venture Brothers, and all those shows. Like how where you guys started to where you are now, getting these major projects. They said everybody eating at the company, and I love to see it. Yeah. Now that we, like I said, you guys have so much on the plate. One of my questions was, what is like the turnaround for a show now, like animation wise? Because I'm sure you guys got this down to a science, like as far as like with the high animation goes.
It's still a slow science. It's it takes a couple years to make an animated show, from like, hey, let's do this, to it actually comes out.
Yeah,
there's just a lot of different processes that happen, one after the next. So it takes a while. So I'll be developing a show right now, talking to a network about, hey, let's put the show on, and we'll agree, let's put the show on, and it'll be a couple years till it actually comes out. And that's when it's going, correctly. Right. It just takes a long time to draw those pictures and make sure that they're as amazing as they need to be, so that when fans get to them, they love them.
Okay. Well, I want to wrap this by asking, is there anything that you want to let the fans know about, any upcoming shows that I might not have talked about, or anything coming up? Because there's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, we do have a ton of upcoming shows, shows that were here, shows that I'm really excited about that have been announced, or things have started to creep out a little bit. Seen some Among Us. You might have seen some Among Us footage out there.
I did. I'm
very excited about that show. It's just like a game I really love, so that's just one example. But there's so many. I would also change course a tiny bit and say we're making a game, a fantasy role-playing game that's also a drinking game.
Oh.
So it's just like a party drinking game.
So I'll never finish it.
No, exactly. You finish it when you're finished.
Right.
And we're gonna be releasing. We're gonna be launching a funding campaign on BackerKit later this year. And we're just excited to have another outlet for us to connect directly with audiences and fans of what we do and make some silly stuff together and share it with the community.
Well, Alexei, I really appreciate you for doing this interview, man.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Pretty good. It's a lot of information.
Yeah, I love talking about cartoons.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you to all you guys.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
So hold on, Alexei. Before we go, I just saw this up corner of my eye. You got this shoe up here. What is this? This a history of what's going on here?
So this is not just any shoe.
Okay.
This is actually a mythical object.
Oh.
This is the sandal of Gygax. This is an enchanted sandal that was actually handmade by the Gary Gygax, creator of Dungeons & Dragons. Before he was the creator of Dungeons & Dragons, he was but a humble cobbler, and making shoes was how he made his living.
Okay.
And this is the final sandal that he created before he became the game creator that we know him as. And this sandal is auctioned off every year at a special event called GaryCon, a convention in Gary's honor. And so each year, a mega fan of his work, of Dungeons & Dragons, bids and buys this sandal and becomes a caretaker of the sandal of Gygax for the year. The proceeds are donated to charity, and then the sandal is given back to its original owners at the end of the year, and the auction happens all over again. So you'll see the plaque lists everyone who has held on to the sandal, and most recently, Chris Pernowski, co-founder of Titmouse, has been entrusted with care of the sandal. And if you touch the sandal, you will live forever. So I recommend that you touch the sandal and join us in eternal life.
Let me see if I can get a little touch on that for
touch the sandal
I can
and then tell us how you feel.
I'm feeling the energy coming from it.
You feel the energy?
Yeah. Oh, good. Joe Manganiello. Can I pronounce it? Joe Manganiello? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the OGs of D&D right now.
Yes, he was the previous owner last year.
Wow. So, what is this going for? Like from bid to bid?
Oh, I don't know what the final bid was, if I'm being honest. We'll have to find out. So you can append that to this article. I don't remember.
Yeah, I might do some research, do some homework.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate this again. Once again, like I said, Alexei, thank you so much for
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Titmouse.